All right, Jordan Love. Is he good? Does he stink? Is it somewhere in the middle? It's too early to tell is the real answer, but let's talk about what we've seen from him so far, because we can tell some things. So the first thing we're going to talk about is what you see on the screen. This is going to be in the Detroit game, and this is it's a negative. The reality is Jordan Love's stats aren't great. His, advanced stats are even worse. And there is some concerns on tape. There's things we have to hopefully see improve from Jordan Love. So it's not a negative necessarily. Everyone has, negative parts of their game. Let's just talk about them so that way we can improve upon them. I mean, I doubt Jordan Love's actually watching this video, but you get the idea. So the way this play works, it's man coverage. You see the route that he wants to throw to and watch what happens. Look at how right when this play begins, you're going to see that there is not much separation right here. And this actually looks like there might be a bit of a miscommunication, which is something that I wanted to bring up. Seemed like a lot of times when we saw Jordan Love out there, wasn't on the same page of his receivers. Some of that was playing against, when he's playing with guys who are on the first team, he's not getting as many first team reps. Aaron Rodgers is getting those, obviously. So because of that, there's going to be some negatives there. You also might sit here and say, he probably shouldn't be throwing to this route at all, right? It's not very open, but worth mentioning, they're down in the game, it's late in the game, trying to make something happen. So I actually have no issue with this throw, just because, again, it's better to throw an interception here than just throw incompletions and guarantee that you're not going to win the football game. But as you see, the throw is high, and there's several things you could point to with that. You could say, well, he was under pressure. That's what caused the throw to be high. You could say that, well, he was, it was maybe a miscommunication, thought the receiver was going to go a little bit further deep, which is what caused that to happen. And those all might be true, but the reality is there were a decent amount of missed throws on his tape. There's a decent amount of his missed throws on his college tape. Accuracy has never been the biggest attribute in the positive direction you would go with for Jordan Love. Like something like this is another good example of, this is kind of this is a simple play. This is the layup. This is one you have to make. Jordan Love is rolling out to his right, so he's going towards the bottom of the screen. You're going to have a tight end who's going to start off blocking and then run in that direction. Love flips it to him. You pick up some yards. Probably won't go for a touchdown, but it can get you some yards. And LaFleur does a great job at timing these up to where it actually can get you a decent amount of yards. And he can, we've all seen LaFleur sometimes call it at the perfect time to just get like a free 20 yards if the defense isn't ready for it. He's very good at that. And this play is an example of him, calling it at the right time. As you see, Love's going to run to play action, goes out, and, the edge rusher who was unblocked intentionally on this play is doing a very good job at rushing in and creating some pressure, but this is still a throw you do have to make. As you see, Love instead makes it too far. It is not complete, and there was going to be some yards you would have picked up on that play. You would have probably gotten a first down on that play had it been hit. So, again, some accuracy issues, which a lot of people will say, oh, you need accuracy is the most important thing. I actually don't necessarily agree. However you get your value, I don't care if it's a Patrick Mahomes who isn't the most accurate but makes up for it with these incredible plays, or if it's a, Drew Brees who's known for just accuracy. However you're getting your value, but that is a negative we saw on film. Another negative I did think we saw in that Kansas City game, which was the only full game he's played. He's gotten, he got a few snaps in the Saints game, but I kind of threw those out because it was in garbage time. I watched him, but I was like, yeah, I can't take anything from this. So I moved on from that one. He also had a couple of snaps in week 17, and then he played the second half in week 18 against the Lions. But other than that, this was the only full game that we really saw from him. And, the overall numbers weren't great in terms of, points on the board. And some of it was because of stuff like this. It's zone coverage, cover 2 zone, and watch what's going to happen. And actually, before I start to play, just want to mention sort of, cover 2 zone, 2 safeties deep. It can be very difficult to push the ball down the field on a play like this. And as you see, I almost called him Rodgers, when Love takes the snap, so you see the Rodgers being the Packers quarterback, you see how nothing is really open down the field. Maybe the route over the middle, but there's linebackers who are kind of covering that up. So really, this play has gone on for a bit now already. I know it always feels quick, but, in football, in the NFL, it's been just shy of 3 seconds at this point. So this is actually a bit of a longer play already. You have to, move on, and really you probably should have already moved on and been throwing towards a check down. Love eventually gets to the check down, but it's just too late, and that, there was contact made, which resulted in a misfire throw. So to me, that's just a bit of a classic rookie mistake, essentially, is every rookie, when you get into the league, you realize, oh, things move really quick here. I don't have 4 seconds in the pocket like I did in college. I have maybe 2 seconds in the pocket if I'm lucky. So you got to get rid of the ball quickly. Totally rookie mistake, not a big deal, but just where he's at right now. I think a play like that perfectly can kind of illustrate why some people will say it's better to have a quarterback play than to sit, because you miss out on those kind of lessons, which is probably fair. One thing I want to mention, though, is in that Kansas City game, I already brought up how did not score much points, and a lot of people felt like if Aaron Rodgers was there, then perhaps that they would have won, and that might be true. But at the same time, I think it's also fair to say that really he was not the only issue. Guys were not getting open. Right when this play begins, you're going to see how Jordan Love, takes this step back, looks down the field, and again, just nothing is open. Not even, like the last play where nothing down the field was open, so he should have taken a check down. I guess you could take a check down for like 1 or 2 yards, but just nothing is getting open. Love instead is going to scramble, and actually does a pretty solid job at scrambling outside the pocket and nearly getting the first down there. So to me, that's a good play by Love. Guys aren't getting open, and that definitely happened, which made him look worse, I think, in that game. Ideally, for a quarterback making their first start, you want guys getting open consistently. The opposite happened. Guys were not getting open consistently. And finally, one last play. This is, again, worth mentioning, is there were definitely some plays that made you say, oh, right, that's why he was a first-round pick. Right, that was the reason why people, some people were very high on him, because he can do stuff like this. Look, as you see, Love takes the snap, and you're going to see at this point that he scrambles outside the pocket, and he's going to make a great throw off balance that results in a big completion down the field. So very impressive play, very impressive physical play. You got to get the simple stuff down, but this is what gets you excited if you are a Packers fan. The fact that these are plays that he can make, the fact that he has this ability, that's the excitement. So is Jordan Love a bust? Well, that remains to be seen. We just can't say that. We've barely seen, such a small sample size of Jordan Love. Who really knows? But what we can do is talk about what we have seen and how we evaluate that. And that's kind of the thing, is there's a difference between an evaluation and a prediction. My evaluation of Jordan Love is that he wasn't great. Like his PFF grade was in the 30s, which is really bad, right? But those are just evaluations. Those are just, how he played in a small sample size. There's a lot more to it than just that small sample size. So because of that, I'm definitely willing to still give him a chance. But again, the question now becomes interesting, where typically the quarterbacks that, the ways you win a Super Bowl in today's NFL, you can always find an exception to the rule. But the teams that are winning Super Bowls and getting to Super Bowls tend to be teams that have a superstar quarterback, a quarterback on a rookie deal, or a quarterback who plays elite in the playoffs, such as like a Matt Stafford, who maybe isn't elite, but played elite in the playoffs. Those tend to be the 3 ways. And so for Jordan Love, one of those ways is basically going to get crossed off of his, potential career of winning a Super Bowl on a cheap rookie deal, because, by the time he plays, he most likely will not be on a cheap rookie deal, because he only has 2 years left of a cheap rookie deal. And, doesn't look like he's going to get traded this year, which means that he would be a backup. So because of that, basically for him to really be successful, he'd have to be, elite, or he'd have to play elite in the playoffs, probably. And by successful, I mean, like, give your team a chance to win the Super Bowls because of you not, again, you can still find other ways to make it happen, but that tends to be how you win it. So that's kind of the issue. But Jordan Love at the same time has potential, and I do think that there's intrigue with him. But, that's what I think. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.